Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, man, I feel old. I look old. I'm guessing the answer is yes. I have looked in the mirror many a times and wondered what the heck happened. Like, holy cow, I look depleted. I look tired. And I want to tell you that if you've ever felt this way, it's not about being old. It's not a sign that you need to make an appointment for cosmetic injections or whatever else. It's a sign that your life needs more life. I've been studying this system of medicine that's completely changed the way that I think about this. And strangely enough, it starts with the tiny things that you do every ordinary day. You are listening to Skin, Earth, Vitality, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern vitality. If you are seeking to reconnect with your innate vibrancy, you're in the right place. I'm Emily Davis, a seasoned holistic esthetician and herbalist. Join me as we unlock the secrets of ancient skincare practices, explore the beauty of seasonal and nature-based living, herbalism, and true holistic well-being for you and the broader ecosystem. This podcast is brought to you by Stratum Aesthetics. Head to stratumaesthetics.com to find curated skincare, body care, and other wellness products hand-selected by me. Now enjoy the show. Welcome back in. I've missed you. I took last week off. I was quite unwell. I had kidney stones and I'm still kind of dealing with that. I almost didn't record today actually. And then I was like, no, you're going to put out an episode. You're going to get back on the consistency, on the rhythm. You're going to have a little bit of discipline or some blisscipline because you love doing the podcast. And that kind of ties into today's topic. This is an intro to a mini series that I'm going to be doing over the next several weeks, all about the Ayurvedic daily routine and how this is the best way to feel your juiciest self, to get your spark back. When I was really down and out with these kidney stones, I was just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing my daily habits. I'm not doing my daily routine. And then after a few days, after I started feeling better, getting back into that gave me life. And it really got me thinking about how important my daily rhythms have become to me. And I want to start a series about the self-care practices that I'm learning about and incorporating from Ayurveda school because they really have changed my life and changed the way that I think about and approach my body, my skin, aging, all the things. I had a new client in the other day who was talking about how she felt like she needed some self-care because she hadn't done a thing to care for herself in years. And so at the insistence of her friend, she booked an appointment with me for a facial, and I love that. It was just so good. I love seeing people who it's their first facial, especially if they are older and it's their first facial. Like, it is such an honor for me, and it's such an honor for me to be that place of self-care for so many people. And also, it can't just be that. You can't just come for a facial once in your life or once a month. If you want to live a juicy life, it has to be an everyday thing. And Ayurveda knew that. These ancient seers of Ayurveda knew that. So before I get any further, what is Ayurveda? It's a healing system, this ancient medicine system of India that goes back 5,000 plus years. But it's more than that. It's a worldview about nature and energy and biology. It's a study that says you are nature, and we can study nature in order to know how to help you feel good so that you can live your God-given purpose. And of course, I'm a white girl. Ayurveda is not my ancestral tradition. But one reason that I think I've been so drawn to it and it feels like home is because this worldview doesn't feel entirely foreign to me. There's echoes in the folk herbal traditions of my own ancestors, this attention to plants and seasons and food and constitution, and the idea that our human body exists within nature. It doesn't exist outside of nature. And it's remarkable to me that Ayurveda has been able to preserve and develop this, oh my gosh, incredibly sophisticated, coherent system around this way of understanding life. And so this is an Eastern medicine practice, and I approach that with great respect as a student. And I also just want to say that the people of the West, we think that Western medicine is only biomedical medicine, like AKA modern medicine. But we also have these long lineages of traditional medicine, of folk medicine and herbalism and seasonal living and ways of understanding ourselves as part of the natural world. And so these ideas that have been preserved in Ayurveda and other Eastern medicine systems, they are not foreign to our roots and our ancestry. And what I find so extraordinary about Ayurveda is that this worldview wasn't just preserved through thousands of years, through so much history, as a collection of remedies, which is kind of how I learned Western herbalism originally, is like a collection of remedies. Take this for that. But Ayurveda has been preserved as a way of living. It's not just what you do when you're sick, what plants you call on, which Ayurveda does have a pharmacopoeia, and learning about Ayurvedic herbs has been so fun. But there's this emphasis on how we just live an ordinary Tuesday. How are you waking up? How do you tend to your senses? How do you care for your mouth, your skin, your hair? How are you caring for your feet? What are you eating? How are you eating? How are you moving? How are you transitioning into sleep? How do all of these things change with the season and with your age, and what's happening with your body and your life in that current moment? And this framework of how you're living that ordinary Tuesday is called dinacharya. Dina means day, and charya means routine or to follow. And I first got interested in Ayurveda long before I decided to go to school to study Ayurvedic medicine. I started to become interested in it because of its emphasis on daily routines. And at the time, it just felt good. This idea of an ancient medicine system that wanted you to oil pull every morning. And something in me recognized that thing as the medicine. And I think at the time I was coming from more of a desire to optimize all the things. And I will say, yes, this does optimize all the things, but it does it in a way that I was not expecting at all. Modern wellness influencers are tapping into something that the yogis have known for thousands of years, which is what you do every day matters more than what you're doing occasionally, of course. And the good news is that what these ancient yogis have given to us does not mean that you have to buy a bunch of gear or supplements that someone's selling with their affiliate link. These things are simple and have been tried and tested for a very long time. Dinacharya points toward your daily regimen And what I've been very pleasantly surprised by is that the reason for caring about your body isn't just about longevity or better skin or winning, the wellness Olympics. The purpose behind all of this is that good health is giving you capacity to participate in your life, because our body is the instrument through which our dharma is carried out. What is dharma? Dharma is complex, and I'm still learning. I'm just scratching the surface. I will probably spend many years conceptualizing this, but put very simply, Dharma is your purpose. It's your personal duty here in this life. It's your path, and it doesn't have to be this huge momentous thing, this empire that you're building, this like cosmic career assignment. It's really about right participation in your life. It's about tending to your life, doing your work well, being in integrity, raising your children, caring for others, making your art. What is yours to contribute in this life? What is being asked of you in this life? And so I'm going to just say this again. Our body is the instrument through which this dharma is carried out. So where does the daily routine come in here? Ayurveda is deeply interested in rhythm. And this is seriously so amazing at helping cultivate a relationship with your body, which I'm starting to see that I used to just be a head, like I hung out mostly in my head, and my body was just kind of there, like coming along for the ride. And so being able to cultivate this different type of a relationship to actually feel into my body through this dinacharya has been life-changing. We know our body's not this static object. It's not something you just come in and maintenance once in a while. It's not a car, but a lot of us are treating our body like that. Instead, our body calls for a rhythmic participation, and not living with this rhythmic participation is actually so energetically draining. When we don't have reliable rhythms of eating and sleeping and rest and elimination and all the things, our body has more adapting to do. And if you're listening to this, my guess is that you have a full life. Maybe you're also a business owner. Maybe you have children or people counting on you. And you might be like, I don't have time to add a new collection of habits to the mix. And I know that when I teach my face massage workshops, this is the biggest piece of feedback. It's like, this is nice, but adding new habits is hard and next to impossible. But I want to offer a reframe and say that not having habits is actually harder. These practices give you more capacity. Ayurveda is not telling you that your purpose here on earth is to organize your life around taking care of your body. And I feel like this is the message I get from pop wellness, and I think it's really narcissistic. The purpose of tending to yourself is not about becoming preoccupied with yourself, supplements, protein targets, get the steps in, which I'm a walker. I love getting my steps in, but doing your meditation streak, doing your skincare, your cold plunge, your glucose monitor, your red light, all the colostrum and collagen in your coffee. Oh my God, it turns into a part-time job, and it's positioning being healthy as your dharma. And what I've found so refreshing about the Ayurveda teaching is that it's more like give your body the rhythm, give your body these good inputs so that we can create conditions for a healthy life. And so I wanted to do this intro episode to this mini series because as I introduce these habits, I feel like superficially it can seem like it's just a version of that pop wellness thing that I'm talking about. But instead, it's you care for your digestion so that you have energy. You care for your senses so that your perception and your intuition is clear. You care for your nervous system so that you're less jerked around by every stimulus that comes your way. Oiling your feet at night can sound far removed from your dharma, and it's kind of funny to think that they're even connected, except that oiling your feet might make you sleep better and wake up feeling refreshed, which is then going to mean that you're more present at breakfast. And then because of that, you're more patient with someone, or you're more open to an idea that you might not have been before. Maybe you're more available to make the thing you're here to make. So I've found this to be something very ordinary, and in that, it is quite sacred. And I've talked about it changing the relationship with your body, but I also think that being in relationship with your body brings up this idea of responsibility. You know, we ignore it most of the time, or I'll speak for myself. I often in the past have ignored it when it's, digesting all the food, it's regulating temperature, it's constantly repairing tissue and perceiving the world and moving me through work and relationships. And then something hurts and suddenly it's something you become extremely interested in. Like you're very interested in your body when things aren't well, and it's really scary. But instead, I like the idea of tending so deeply to the body when it is well, because it's yours to care for. So when you're looking in the mirror and you think, I look old, it might be because you're noticing a wrinkle, but it's actually more than that. It's an experience. It's, I look depleted. I look tired. My face looks stagnant or heavy. I don't feel alive. And cosmetic injections can alter the muscular movement of our face, and that works. It can soften some of those expression lines, but it's not really addressing the actual experience. And why I love dinacharya is that it can make you juicier, because so many of its practices are about maintaining aliveness and nourishment, circulation, lubrication, pleasure, movement. And so with that said, this is the intro, and I will be returning next week to talk about our first habit in the stack, which is tongue scraping, oil pulling, and oral health. So if you want to get a jump start, my recommendation is to pick up a copper tongue scraper. I sell them on my website, stratumaesthetics.com. And next week, we're going to talk about it and why it makes such a difference, and why tongue scraping is one of the best things you can do for your skin right now. So until then, be well. You've been listening to Skin, Earth, Vitality. If you like what you heard today, consider giving me a 5-star rating. It helps other people just like you to find the show. You can shop products and find all of my offerings on my website, stratumaesthetics.com, and follow me on my social channels @stratumaesthetics.